Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome to Minecraft Snapshot 12W32. There are actually quite a few awesome new features that have been added just in the week since 1.3 was released, so pretty sweet stuff. Actually, why don't we start off with some of the changes to the Testificates. That's why we're in a village after all. So the changelog says that Testificates will now respond favorably to you trading with them and negatively to you punching them and being abusive. So why don't we find a Testificate who is accepting some emeralds in return for something else. So this guy right here works just fine. And now, let's see what happens. Anything? Okay, so he's having some positive sparkly particle effects. The green ones are actually new. He used to have the purple ones. Those were always there for the past couple of versions. But anyway, now let's see what happens. Nothing has changed, so why don't we try trading with him once more. Oh, actually, there we go. So the price has actually decreased. It used to be 8 emeralds, and now it's only 7. So let's trade with him once more and see if that accomplishes anything further. You're going to get some green sparkly particle effects. There we go. And now he's added a new trade. Okay, so there we go. We now know sort of what the positive outcome is. So why don't we now try to be abusive? So we're going to punch him a couple times, and now he's getting some, it looks like angry cloud graphics appearing over his head. Punch him like, I don't know. Wow, multiple angry clouds appearing over his head. So why don't we try trading with him again and seeing what happens, if anything. I'm assuming that what will happen, since they're not actually trying to attack me like zombie pigmen, is that they're just going to stop wanting to trade with me. I don't want to kill him. But let's see. No, he's still trading with me. So perhaps it doesn't happen every time. It's sort of a case-by-case basis, dependent upon who you're actually trading with, because he's still giving us the pickaxe there. Now he's going to get happy once again, I think. Or not. Perhaps the negative outcome is that when you then do trade with him once more, he doesn't give you any happiness in return. And now he's trying to run away from me. Try him once more. And it still allows me to trade with him. So perhaps it's still a work in progress, as some other things are in this snapshot, and in the future they'll add the negative response to you being abusive. We'll see. Anyway, you can expect that in a future version, or if perhaps I am triggering it improperly. Anyway, all right. New change. We're actually going to want to switch it to nighttime in order to demonstrate some of the new zombie stuff. So why don't we take advantage of another feature in order to make it nighttime? So this is the new command block. You can't actually find it in the creative inventory. You have to give it to yourself using /give, and its data value 137. So when we place this thing down, right-click on it, and it gives us this command window. What that allows us to do is input any of the regular cheat commands like /xp, /game mode, whatever you want to choose from that list of options. So since we want to switch it to night, let's do / if I can type properly, /time night. Or time set night, excuse me. Time set night. And done. And you can also add these additional variables, which we can get into in just a couple seconds here. So time set night. So our command is set now, and what happens is once we trigger this block with a redstone signal, we'll use a lever for now, it'll actually switch our world into nighttime. So you'll notice the sky got immediately darker, and now the sun is setting, and it's about to be nighttime. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So now let's set another command, why don't we? We'll use the XP command, and will give us some additional XP. So /XP will give ourselves, I don't know, I think the max is 5,000, we'll just give ourselves 1,000. And then we want to give it to the nearest player who triggers the block. So we're going to use the @p command there. Done. And now watch our experience bar, or the number of experience above our hotbar. And once we trigger it once more, I'm now level 32. And each time I trigger it, it's going to keep giving me more and more experience, 1,000 at a time. So that's how the block works. You can input any command. Obviously, it's very useful for something like an adventure map, where if you want to have someone flip a switch and then they teleport to another player, flip a switch, it's nighttime, flip a switch, it's daytime, give someone experience so they can enchant, whole bunch of different options, and you can probably mod in different commands as well if that's something that you're interested in doing. So this thing is really sweet, actually. Alright, so now that it's nighttime, why don't we take a look at the new changes to zombies? All right, so we're actually going to have to go in and change our game mode. I had it on peaceful so zombies wouldn't spawn naturally and break down some doors in here. So now we set it to hard. Set it to hard for a reason, because zombies will actually now spawn with various items depending on what difficulty you're in. So let's go get zombie spawning egg. And we'll place down a few zombies, why don't we? We'll overrun the village. That guy's normal. But now, watch as they break down the door, and what'll happen when they actually start going after the certificates. So we'll give it a couple seconds here. They're gonna do their thing, and soon enough the door's gonna break down. Leave weird particle effects. But now zombies can actually infect villagers. So that right there, as they're struggling to make it out through the, the doorway, is a Testificate zombie. So that's new to this. So rather than necessarily killing the villagers, they can turn them into some zombies. All right, on top of that, we'll try to spawn some more, and maybe some will naturally start spawning around us out in the field so we can see how that works. We got a few out there. When we're trying to find one that has spawned with an item or some armor, because that is now a possibility. So they can spawn with things like a full suit of golden armor, an iron sword in their hands, a whole bunch of different options. And we're just going to try to make that happen. So far, it doesn't seem to want to do it for us, but I can assure you, I was messing around with it a few minutes ago. It was, there were plenty of zombies spawning with some cool items. And Testificate zombies can also spawn with some items as well. Oh, there we go. All right, so over here is a zombie holding an iron shovel. So he's gonna smash your face in with an iron shovel if we were on survival mode. I'm not sure if they do extra damage. I can only imagine that zombies with weapons or tools are gonna do extra damage to you, where zombies with sets of armor are gonna be harder to kill. All right, so there we go. Trying to see if we can find one that has a suit of armor, but it doesn't look like we're having too much luck over here, does it? Meanwhile, we're just turning all the Testificates into zombies themselves. So I think here's a Testificate zombie that has an iron shovel in his hand. All right, I think you get the idea though. Even if you haven't necessarily seen one with a full set of armor, you now see the Testificate zombies and ones that spawn with shovels in their hands. All right, let's set it to, oh, here we go. Hey-oh. So here is a Testificate zombie with a full set of gold armor. There we go. So now you've seen it all. All right, so let's switch back to peaceful so we don't completely eradicate all the Testificates in this village. And now we'll move on to the final really cool change. All right, so that's why I have these the emerald and gold full storage blocks in my inventory, because this is, I don't even know what to call this. It's a pyramid of work in progress. That's what we'll call it. All right, so this block right here, the work in progress, is something that you can place down, and it lights up this area. And when you click on it, it shows this sort of GUI, and you're like, I don't know what this is. So the way this works is you can use emerald, gold, iron, diamond storage blocks, whichever ones you choose, and I've experimented with it, and it doesn't seem like there is a difference in the results depending on which type of block you use. But you want to craft a pyramid. You can craft a pyramid up to 4 layers high. So this is a 1-layer pyramid. And now if we place down the work in progress on top of this, now it'll activate this beacon up to the sky. I think it's actually called the beacon block, but work in progress is a better name. And then you have this menu of different options. So because this is a 1-layer pyramid, you'll notice it corresponds to this right here, this icon. It unlocks the speed and haste power-ups. So we can select speed. It'll come on over into this menu that will show us what we're gonna get when we set this thing up. And then you simply have to add a certain ingot into the bottom. And again, with my experimentation, it doesn't seem like it matters which you add. You just need to add either a gold, an iron, a diamond, or an emerald ingot. And then click done. And now you'll notice that you have speed active. Now this actually stays permanently in effect within a certain radius of the pyramid. So as long as I stay right near this pyramid, it's going to give me that speed boost. So even though the timer keeps counting down, it cycles. So now if I actually do go out of the radius, it will count down, and then I will lose it in that in those 8 seconds. Now, the bigger you make the pyramid, the larger the radius of effect the boost will give you, or the pyramid will have a larger radius of effect before you'll lose the boost. So why don't we go ahead and make a bigger pyramid? All right, so we use gold this time just to show that it doesn't seem to actually matter what you use when you're making the pyramid. It will still have the same effect on you. So we'll need to make it 5 by 5 this time for it to be a 2-layer pyramid. And then we'll add the second layer right here. And needless to say, when if you want to make a 4-layer pyramid, that's going to take a lot of resources. You're basically going to be working for your entire lifetime. If you want to make like a 4-layer emerald pyramid, I wish you luck. I really do. Okay, so now that this thing is 2 layers tall, you'll notice that the second level has been unlocked. So now if we want to make a jump boost power-up or a resistance power-up, we can click one of these. It'll add it to the secondary power-up, and we'll input an emerald this time just to show it, again, works the same with all the different resources, and bam. So now we have both speed and jump boost. So the reason I have both is because, as it turns out, I'm actually within the radius of both of these pyramids. So although you can't actually give yourself 2 different power-ups from a single pyramid, you can be within the radius of 2 different pyramids, and it'll give you both those power-ups so they can overlap. So that's how you can give yourself different perks at the same time. Okay, now why don't we go ahead and just make the 4-layer pyramid to get it out of the way, and then we'll do a 4-layer power-up, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, so here's our 4-layer pyramid. Needless to say, requires an insane amount of resources, so it's probably most efficient to make it out of iron if you're actually going to go for one. Let's put down our work in progress beacon block on top, and now it's activated. So now you'll notice that everything is unlocked. So why don't we make something with both strength and regeneration? We'll add in our ingot, hit check, and get an error. Work in progress, as I had mentioned. All right, let's go back into it and see if we can get it to work. Well, apparently I broke the world by doing that. So you may want to not, just a heads up, you may want to not build these things in worlds that are of great importance to you unless you back them up. So keep that in mind. All right. Anyway, I think you've sort of understood the idea of how the pyramids work. And if you want to get more effects, then you just build the bigger pyramids. So anyway, thanks for watching, dudes. If you've enjoyed, a rating would be very much appreciated. Other than that, I will see you all next time.